Hey y'all, Steve D here. Wanted to show you how to make a simple alcohol stove. This is one of my favorites. Got the idea for this video from a friend of mine that's a blogger in the UK, and she had recently taken her family out for a hike in the woods, and her daughters wanted to make hot chocolate during the hike, so they stopped and popped open a stove and heated up some water to make their hot chocolate. And I was intrigued because they had used a solid fuel stove that uses Esbit tabs or hexamine tablets. And we got to talking back and forth, trading messages, and I mentioned these little alcohol stoves that I make. So she was interested, and I decided, well, I'll go ahead and make a video to show how to make the things. And these are super simple. They're one of my favorite stoves. I learned how to make them a couple of years ago from a couple of other videos on YouTube. But the thing I didn't like about them is both of those videos used a knife of some sort to make the cuts. I tend to be a little bit accident prone, and I cut myself enough using a knife for proper purposes. I know I could probably do more damage doing things that I wasn't supposed to do with one. So what I did was start thinking about things that would make the process simple, keep it simple, and safer. So what I came up with was using a can opener to cut the top out of the Coke can, and then using a pair of heavy-duty kitchen shears like these to make the rest of the cuts. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's use a regular Coke can. You can use any type of aluminum can. This is the 12-ounce can. I make them out of 8-ounce cans. You'll find that some cans work better than others with different types of can openers, but you can figure that one out. So the first thing you do, you cut the top out of the aluminum can. Pretty simple. Take the top out, throw it to the side. Alcohol stoves need to be able to vent when your pot sits flat on top of it, otherwise it can bubble out and then you've got a real flaming mess. Take a push pin, put a little hole in the side up near the top. Pretty simple so far. Next thing you do is you need to make a couple of cuts. You need to cut it on the sides in a couple of places so you can put it together. I like to make them about 1 inch tall, and I'm making quite a few of these, so I have made a template that just slides over the bottom of the can. Take a Sharpie marker, make a line around the top of the template, and then I just slide it up the can. And I want to make the top piece a little bit longer than the bottom piece, maybe a 32nd to a 1/16 of an inch. Just mark it around like that. Pull that off and put it to the side. Now what I do next is I'll put a little hole in the middle of the can and cut the can in half. That way I don't have half the can flopping around as I'm trying to cut around it. This is a cheap little $2 knife that I got at a gas station. It's not worth a flip for much of anything other than doing that. It's not very sharp, but it's cheap and you don't ruin a good blade that way. Now take your kitchen shears, cut around your can so it's in 2 pieces. Then you take your 2 pieces and cut along the line that you drew with your Sharpie marker. Usually a lot to do with this. It's much better to do this when the wind isn't blowing, but hey, it is. And cut the top of your other piece, and I see that I had not washed this can out real well, so I like to wash them out beforehand. And I thought I had already washed these, but apparently not. But that's okay. It is a good idea at some point to go ahead and clean it out. Okay, now that you got that taken care of, this pair of scissors actually come apart, which is good, because you need to be able to crease the sides of the cans. Take and push your scissors against the can so that it creases it. Move your finger against the crease, crease it again, and just keep doing that all the way around the can. And just by chance, my fingers work out where it's almost perfect as I go around. Then all you have to do is give it a little, wrong one, give it a little squeeze, press the top down into the bottom, and you're done. Pretty simple, just takes a couple of minutes, a couple of household tools, and I would suggest whenever you make one, go ahead and give it a test burn before you take it out in the woods. You can adjust it just a little bit, but there you go.